Hey guys, a couple years ago I got to go up to Philadelphia, spoke at the Be Your Best baseball conference up there. I think it's 41 or 42, 43 years in a row. It's one of the top baseball conferences in the country. And some of the top coaches in the world speak there. I got the opportunity to talk to the Yankees hitting coach and Yankees pitching coach there, and I asked them one question. I said, there's 3 exercises you could do with your hitters or your pitchers. I'd ask this separately. What would they be? And so what areas would you focus on? And 2 of them were the exact same. One was lead hip internal rotation, and the other was thoracic mobility. Okay, so I'll go over a couple things why those are important. When we're talking thoracic mobility, the best example I can give you as a pitcher and as a hitter, really, okay? So the more mobile your upper back is, your thoracic spine, your T-spine is, the more stable your low back can be, okay? And the more power you'll have, the more mobility you have, the better health you'll have, right? The bands of muscle, your muscles act like rubber bands, right? So as we're pitching, okay, we want to create hip and shoulder separation. As we're pitching or as we're swinging and we're hitting, right, we want our hips to open up first. We want our shoulders to stay a little bit closed off. So if we're here, band anchor into our shoulder and band anchor into our hip, and we're driving out, right, and our hips open up, and we create that separation, the hip-shoulder separation. What's this band doing? Right, it's stretching, right? So as we step out, we stride out, and we're opening our hips up, and we're keeping our shoulders back. This band is stretching. So when we come through, and this band is stretching, and when we come through with our shoulders, that band snaps, we whip through on a throw, or we whip through on a hit and create a little bit more power, right? So if we can create a little bit more mobility in upper back, we're going to create more separation between our hips and our shoulders. Okay, so we're going to have a little bit more power. We're also going to be able to finish through our back swing or our follow through on our pitch a little bit better and give us more room to slow down after we're done with our pitch, which 1, takes more pressure off the shoulder, and 2, takes more pressure off the elbow. When we're talking lead hip, okay, so hitters and pitchers as well. So as we're pitching, right, we come through and we follow through and release the ball, and we come through. This is hip internal rotation, okay? Or we're internally rotated our femur into our body. Okay, so as we finish through here, if we're tight and we can't finish through the extra couple degrees that we're getting, okay, now, so our bicep has to take the brunt of it, back of our shoulder has to take the brunt of it, sometimes our hamstring will take the brunt of it, okay? So we've got to make sure that we're able to finish through here, come all the way around to give us more time to follow through and take some of the beating off of our other decelerators, right? Same thing hitting, okay? As we're hitting and we come through and we make contact, we want to be able to finish our swing, right? We able to finish our swing. So you look at some of the best hitters in the world, look at some of the ones where they're fully extended here, okay, on their follow through. Their foot is pretty much closed off and they're fully rotated out, okay? So we want to make sure that we've got enough mobility in upper back, enough mobility in our hips, and our lead hips especially, to finish our follow through and to get a little bit more power there, okay? So we're going to walk through a couple thoracic spine exercises. You may have seen these before, probably from us. We've been following us for a while, but we're going to go through them anyway. Okay, so one of our favorites that we do here is upper body clamshells. So we hop down. Here we want to put our pad in between our knees, okay, to keep our spine as neutral as we can get, okay? If you don't have a pad, that's fine. You always use your hand, ball a fist up, put it between your knees. You want to make sure your knee stays flat on the ground and this knee stays flat on your hand or on the pad. Okay, so we're here. We're just going to open up. We want to get a good exhale. And try to put our shoulders on the ground. Again, we want to make sure this knee stays down on the ground, this knee stays on the pad. If we start doing this to get our shoulder on the ground and our knee comes up, it's not worth doing. So we're here, we're going to exhale. We're staying down. We're coming back. Okay? The pad just keeps our knee in a better position, or I'm sorry, our low back in a better position. second progression to this, if your guys are really good at it, is take a foam roller, med ball, take a stack of weights, does not matter. Put your knee on it. Okay, again, lines up our lumbar spine, our low back. I'm not great at this one. So we want to try to keep our knee down on the foam roller. All right, can't quite get there. Try it again. All right, so it's clearly something I need to work on. I think you get the picture. Next, another one we do commonly, okay, I call it knee on T-spine. So our hands and knees here, and put our hand beside our ear, okay? Neutral spine in the back. We can go elbow to elbow. And then try to follow our elbow with our eyes and turn our upper back without turning our low back, okay? And a lot of times you'll get guys that will do that, push this hip out so they can get open, right? So now we're just cranking on the low back and not getting as much out of our thoracic spine as we should be. So what I'll have them do, I'll instruct them, just kind of sit back on their heels. And this takes the low back out of it. So we're here. So let's kneel on T-spine. Here in a second, I'll show you some things we do for our hip internal rotation. And I got the opportunity to talk to the Yankees pitching coach and the Yankees hitting coach, and I asked them a couple questions. I said, what are 3 exercises that you make sure that your hitters or your pitchers do? And 2 of their responses were the exact same. Okay, one was hip internal rotation in the lead hip, and the other was thoracic mobility. Okay, so we're going to go through a couple of those things today and show you how we incorporate some of that into our training. So the first thing we do, well, one exercise we do is the landmine rotation. Okay, this is great, one for some rotational core activities, but also for the lead hip. And so what we're going to do is, we've got a landmine that we've got here. You can put your bar in a corner. You don't have to have one of these. You can put the bar in between, a lifted partner's feet. It does not matter that much about the apparatus you have, it's just how you do the exercise here. So we're going to start with the weight or the bar on one side of our body. Okay, what we want to do is make sure that this foot, the weight's closest to, is closed off. Okay, and the back side is pivoted. You get an overhand, underhand grip on the bar. We're going to bend our knee, and we're going to bend here at the waist as well. So we're getting some good hip internal rotation on this leg. We're going to try and keep our arms straight, up and around. Pivot on this back leg. Keep this front leg now closed off. What you'll see is a lot of times when somebody comes this way, they'll open up both feet to that side. Okay? So what we're trying to do is, 1, work on some power, rotational power, but 2, work on a little bit of internal rotation while we're doing our exercise. So we want to make sure that this hip is internally rotated while we're doing our exercise here. Okay? The second one we do with the landmine is we square up to it. Okay, we'll start here. Okay? Actually, we'll drive, pivot on our back foot again, keep our front foot closed. So we're here, we're going to drive up and out. We're also getting some pretty good upper rotation here on our back side as well. So we're here. Okay, so we're getting a little bit of rotational power. We're getting some scap mobility, scap stability, and some hip internal rotation on the lead side. Okay, so try that out. Both sides, we usually do about 5 or 6 reps per side, about 2, 3, 4 sets sometimes in the off season. We'll keep it a little bit lighter. In season, try to speed it up a little bit. Off season, we'll add a little bit of weight to it and try to load it up pretty good. So try it, see what you think. It's good enough for the Yankees. It's good enough for us.